You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the February 1st meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by going to www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening and welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting for Wednesday, February 1st, 2023. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Latchford.
Here.
Mr. Fraze.
Here.
Mr. Glidden.
Here.
All right, the minutes from our January 18th meeting were prepared in advance and presented. So unless there are any corrections or additions, do we have a motion to approve?
I would move we accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Any project updates, old business or tabled business tonight?
No, sir.
All right, takes us right into new business. And the first item is the 2022 fourth quarter Park Department report.
Thank you. The fourth quarter report was included in your packets tonight, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Shannon. Any questions or comments from the board? And then I don't have any really, I had a few questions which you answered and they're all logical, but again, just want to compliment you and the staff on compiling a comprehensive report, which precisely documents our fourth quarter activities. So thank you. There are no questions or comments. Other than that, do you have a motion to approve the fourth quarter report?
I would move we accept the fourth quarter report. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, now we have the NSA BPA 2023 MOU.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
You're welcome.
In your packet, you were able to review the memorandum of understanding between the Michigan City Park Department and NSA BPA for the use of Patriot Park. The National Softball Association, along with the Baseball Players Association, would like to renew the agreement to utilize Patriot Park for their weekend tournaments. These organizations bring a wholesome atmosphere to the park, introduce sportsmanship and team play and to the young participants. I recommend the renewal of this agreement.
Thank you, Ed. Questions or comments from the board?
Just a curious question. Do we have any leagues through Park and Recreation that play out there during the week? I'm not.
Yes.
We do, but the weekends is their tournament.
Correct.
What leagues are out there during the week?
During the week, we have youth baseball, and that would be the 10 under, 13 under, and hopefully the 16 and under. Hardball.
Is there softball?
There's adult softball too.
Ed, were there any changes in this MOU when compared to the prior year's MOU?
No changes this season. No.
Thank you. Any questions from the public? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
Well, we've had a nice working relationship with them, and I would move we accept this MOU.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I believe it's a partnership that works well. We made some changes last year to, I guess, enhance the partnership and make some improvements. So assuming since there are no changes, that worked out well. Great. Okay, next up is a Trail Creek MOU for the Nelson Park.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
You're welcome.
You have reviewed the agreement that has not been changed from last year, other than the dates, to consider its renewal. Our Recreation Department is very appreciative for the use of the ball diamonds at Nelson and Congdon Parks and Trail Creek. I have been made aware that representatives of the town of Trail Creek are also pleased with our relationship. Obviously, the ultimate benefit is the youth baseball participants. Please consider your acceptance of this renewal as our department will continue to abide by the provisions of this agreement. I recommend the renewal of this agreement.
Thank you, Ed. Questions or comments from the board?
Ed, with those shorter or the smaller size fields there, is this for the real young kids?
Correct. We have a very young league, 4 to 6 year old, and
Oh,
that's
my.
T-ball. LaPorte, for instance, has 5 and 6. We go 4 through 6. And then there's an 8U league that plays on the other field. So that would be.
Is that a co-ed? Or is it just one male and one female? Or do they have co-ed? Are boys and girls play together at that
They
young
do.
age?
We don't specifically separate them, but
Uh-huh.
girls are more than welcome to play.
Do we have one just for females?
No, we don't.
Okay.
How many nights are they up?
They're there Saturdays, during the week. I'm sorry. They're at Condon and they're in Trail Creek at Condon and Nelson during the week, and it usually takes Monday through Thursday.
Ed, similar to the MOU that we just approved. I know there were some parking issues last year and we tweaked this MOU. So I'm assuming since there are no changes that worked well and
It did.
they're
I
happy
have
with.
not heard any bad problems about the parking, and I'm usually speaking with Officer Steve Dick before the season starts.
Okay, very good to know.
Thank you.
Any questions from the public? There are no other questions or comments? What's the pleasure of the board?
Again, I think we've had a nice working relationship with Trail Creek over the past few years. And I would move that we accept this MOU renewal.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, Michigan City Public Art Committee request for murals at Gardena and
Thank
Pullman
you.
Parks. You're welcome.
I serve as the treasurer for the Michigan City Public Art Committee, and one of our goals for 2023 is to expand art into our neighborhoods. The committee's pretty much been focused the last decade with the downtown or uptown arts district area, so we're looking to branch out. If the board remembers, back in July, you did approve painting a mural on the wall at Canada Park. There's an example in the packet. We are currently applying for an Indiana Destination Development Grant for $10,000 to complete this project with a local artist. There's no match required. And at some point, when the artist gets a rendering done, we will present that to the board so you can approve the concept. Additionally, we are looking at painting a mural on the restroom building at Gardena Park on the side that faces the basketball courts. Right now, we're thinking that it would be something sports related, but we're really looking to have some positive messaging for teams to kind of target that age group at Gardena. Again, I'm just asking the board's approval and concept at this point to move forward and look for an artist and come up with a design for that project. And then lastly, we'd also like to paint some type of artwork or murals on the features at the skate park. There's 5 different features on the north side that face Highway 12, so that's where we'd like to start. There's actually 7 panels on those features that we'd like painted. So if you look at the 2 that are farthest west, they actually have a west-facing panel as well. So we paint 2 on that one. That adds some public art to people traveling into the city from Highway 12. And also, I think it makes the skate park a little more interesting. Again, we would present some renderings, content and theme to the park board before proceeding. But at this point, we would ask your permission to move forward in the planning.
Thank you, Shannon. Questions or comments from the board?
I think that's a good idea. Just, yeah, kind of a question, I guess. At the skate park on the sides that face Highway 12, would that just be different colors or actual some type of artwork, or does it depend on what kind of ideas come in?
Yeah, it'll depend on the artist, and the art committee will work to give them some guidance on what we're looking for. Right now, the only idea I've heard so far is maybe something that's, like waves, like the beach, but again, you could go into the sports theme.
Okay,
We just haven't gotten that far. Right now, we just like permission to proceed. We don't want to spend a lot of work if the board is not in favor of that.
Any other questions or comments? My only comment is, I'm glad you included, in addition to the Gardena and Pullman, you also listed all the other parks and some potential art projects. So I thought I was pretty excited to see what might be in the pipeline for down the road for increasing the public art. So thank you for that additional information.
You're welcome.
Any questions from the public?
just a comment. We have, there is that big tall red structure out there by Pullman, Pullman Field, just next to the highway.
Yeah, that sculpture is under lease. I believe that lease is up this June.
Maybe off topic, but the You Are Beautiful sculpture, when that gets developed, where does that go to?
We're working on placement for that right now. A lot of ideas have been thrown around. Pullman Park is definitely one that we're looking at just because of the size and the high visibility. The maintenance building was another location that we looked at. Again, high traffic on Highway 12. It's next to Friendship Gardens. So that's a very large piece and it really needs an open backdrop. So at some point, if it lands on park property from the art committee group, I'd bring that back to you. If anyone has any ideas of where that could go, it does need to be on public property. So we're kind of limited with the space requirements. And I've also heard the developer keep the piece and maybe just move it up a little bit in a city right away. But we're definitely planning that it may have to be moved in the next 3 to 6 months. So you'll hear about that soon.
Well, I'm just thinking, could you put that on the beach along the? I know it could be problematic with the sand, but I'm just off the top of my head, I probably shouldn't even be
So
doing that in a public meeting.
the art committee doesn't place public art in places where you have to pay to see it. Now, there are a few pieces in Washington Park, but they're along Lakeshore Drive. That is something that could be proposed and discussed by the committee, but at this point, we try to make sure it's free for everyone.
Okay.
Could it be along Lakeshore Drive there across from the Armory, say, perhaps?
It could, and the art committee did suggest that. I was against it because it's just too busy in that area. You've got the old bandstand that we're getting ready to renovate. We've got the Victoria's Peace Monument, the Doughboy. It's almost like it's going to just get too cluttered in that area. But yeah, it could go along Lakeshore Drive and Better's Alley. There's opportunities for it. It's just, again, it's such a large piece and you don't really want it to get lost in clutter. We can move one letter at a time and spell different words. Then if you have my suggestion. You like to buy a vowel?
All right, thank you, Shannon. Unless there are any other questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the Michigan City Public Art request for murals at Gardena and Pullman Park?
I would move that we allow them to proceed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is the Uptown Social 2023 5K run walk request.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
You're welcome.
Mr. Jeremy Rossi of the Uptown Social Organization is asking acceptance to utilize Washington Park as a segment of the annual Uptown Social 5K Walk Run. On July 13th, 2023, participants will be entering Washington Park at approximately 6:40 p.m. The Michigan City Police Department and EMA volunteers will be stationed at every intersection to ensure the safety of pedestrians, participants, and traffic. Uptown Social donates a portion of the proceeds to local organizations in need after every public event. This event has already been approved by the Public Board of Works and Safety. I recommend the Park Board approval to allow Uptown Social Organization to utilize Washington Park as a segment of the annual Uptown Social 5K Walk Run.
Thank you, Ed.
And Mr. Rossi is here to answer any questions that you might have.
Welcome.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Please just state your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name is Jeremy Rossi and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Uptown Social. We're located at 907 Franklin Street.
Any questions or comments from the board?
I'm glad I'm not running. I was reading the directions. I got lost. I had to read them again. You really have it planned out and the police are helping out. That'd be nice.
Yeah, this is our third one. It gets better every year and I learn a lot more every time I do it. So I think this year is going to be even better than the last two.
How many people do you anticipate?
I would say this year close to, we're hoping for 100. Last year we were around 68 people in total. The first year was only 30. So it gets bigger and better every year.
They're just running through the park. There's no.
Just running to the park. Yeah.
I've participated in this the last 2 years and it's a great event. Well run, as you mentioned.
Thank you. This year, we're going to have a midway water hydration station, and we're going to have some healthy snack options afterwards too. So,
President doesn't stop though. He doesn't stop.
okay, yeah, I don't either. So just keep going.
You're gonna have nachos all run.
It's not a 2-day race. though.
And it is a walk run. You can also walk if you choose to walk.
Good one, Ed.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the Uptown Social 2023 5K walk run for July 13th, 2023?
Move we accept this proposal for the third annual Uptown Social 5K walk run.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, now we have a Michigan City Municipal Band schedule for 2023.
Yes, this was also included in your packets. It's their typical schedule with only one change, which is the rehearsal on Tuesday, July 4th. They will reschedule that because of the holiday and the fireworks. The date is still to be determined and they'll let the park office know when the date's been rescheduled. But again, great programming in Washington Park. I will remind the board, last year you did approve discounted parking rates for concert goers of $4 per car after 7 p.m.
Thank you, Shannon. Is that part of this request tonight?
That's actually part of our standard parking fees. So those have already been approved for 2023, including that.
Very good, thank you. Will there be any concerts at the band shelter this summer?
So the bandstand is going to be under construction beginning in April. We had a pre-bid meeting today. In years past, the band would always do a concert on the Thursday closest to the 4th of July. So I'm guessing not this year because of the construction, but we will be having a ribbon cutting event and hopefully the band will be performing in the old bandstand for that event.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Has anybody ever gone to rehearsal? I was sitting here thinking it could go on Thursday or on rehearsal night and beat the crowd.
There are a lot of people there
Are there really?
watching and listening.
There are no other questions or comments. What's the pleasure of the board?
I would move we accept the 2023 Michigan City Municipal Band Summer Concert Calendar as printed, with the exception of July 4th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Right, we have two additional items on the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
One is the special purchase policy for a F-250 pickup truck.
Yes, the city council approved funding for a Ford F-250 pickup truck for our maintenance department in January. The truck that our maintenance director, Pat Wiltz, wanted to order, the way it was explained to me is Ford put a window open for ordering that lasted about 3 weeks for the whole year. That window closed prior to our funding being approved, which means if nothing changes, he wouldn't be able to place the order until January of 2024. the truck would be a year out. So it's a 2-year wait. Mr. Volts did his due diligence, looking everywhere for a truck. He did find one. This one does have toolboxes on it. That wasn't specified in the original quote. However, those would definitely be a benefit to our craftsman to be able to load his tools and equipment in locked boxes and not have to run back and forth between jobs. That would save labor hours, wear and tear on the vehicle, fuel costs. So it's actually a benefit to the department to go in that direction. It will cost us an additional, remember what the additional amount was?
$1,600.
Yeah, it's around $3,400 that we do have available in our concession capital budget. This would qualify for a special purchase under our special purchase policy because they're giving us a government discount of $7,800. So we're just asking that the board approve the special request, meaning that we can accept the quote that's attached to this from Castle Ford, and we don't have to go through the quote or bid process.
Thank you for that explanation, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Questions or comments from the board?
Is that 7,000 your government discount? Does that come off the 56,970?
You know what? I think the amount in the first sentence is incorrect. That was the first truck.
That,
So or no, that's correct. That's the funding we got. 56,970 is after the government discount. So that would be the actual purchase price. The council's funding 53,355. We need to come up with the difference.
is there a warranty? Yeah, it looked like there was a 3 or 6-year warranty on the specs in here.
Where does the 7,800 come in?
Yeah, that comes, Philip, look here. There's the
Oh,
price minus. Okay. And then the warranty itself.
no, it's on the back page. I got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. Saw it in here somewhere, Tim. It again. Yeah, 6-year limited warranty. All right. I'm not sure what the limited warranty covers or doesn't cover though. Shannon, would we be jeopardizing any future project by using funds from the park concession budget for this vehicle?
No, so there's nothing right now earmarked for that $30,000 capital expenditure in 2023. We do have a few projects we're looking at. One was fencing around the amphitheater. The zoo is also looking at some design and engineering fees for their gift shop, but they're not to the point yet where they can even get a budgetary estimate on it. So
Okay.
It was not earmarked during the budget process.
Thank you.
No.
Any other questions or comments?
Sure. I think the board would like to know that Mr. Volts is doing a fantastic job rotating the vehicles and making sure as well the staff takes care of the vehicles, and the staff is doing a very good job of taking care of the vehicles. Nice work, Pat.
Thank you for mentioning that, Ed. Any questions from the public? Seeing none. We have a motion to approve the special purchase policy for the F-250 truck.
I would move we have the Mr. Volts go ahead with for our funding for the Ford F-250.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Nice job, Patrick.
Yeah.
All right, next we have the emergency roof repair for the Washington Park Zoo.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford. As we all know, this is a little bit unique being in an emergency. Thank you for pushing it into the new business tonight. There has been a storm that caused a limb to go through the roof of the Discovery Building, causing a leak. It has been a while since I've been able to find a contractor that could meet the requirements of the insurance. As it turns out, there wasn't a contractor that I contacted out of 4 contractors. None of them could reach the requirements of the insurance. So it was my duty to contact our insurance representative and give him an idea of what requirements could be maintained by this contractor. And we were able to find a contractor that could pull this off before the weather gets bad, next cycle of bad weather. So this is an emergency, and I'm hoping you approve this contract so this roof can be repaired.
Thank you, Ed. Questions or comments from the board? Ed, if I'm reading this right, it looks like the total contract price is $2,200.
That's correct. This has been about 60 days. I'm not confident that it will stay the same. I just sent this agreement out to the contractor today for his review. There's a chance he might come up with materials increasing in price since he quoted the 2,200, but I'm sure it won't be an exorbitant amount of money.
So what do we do if we're approving this contract as presented at 2,200? What do we do if he comes in with a price that's different?
I
That's higher.
suppose I would have to contact the board and take it from there to see if the board would approve of any added or increased price.
All
President
right.
Latchford, if I could interject.
Sure.
Our small purchase policy allows the superintendent to purchase up to the amount of $5,000 without board approval. However, because this requires a contract, that's why it's in front of the board. So if the board chooses, you could make a motion to allow the superintendent to sign the contract once finalized, not to exceed the 5,000 purchasing limit without coming back to the board to expedite the project.
Thank you for that, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Shannon.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Questions from the public? Seeing none. Have a motion to approve, maybe with a caveat that give the superintendent authority. Should the contract price come in higher, but below 5,000, that he could execute the contract.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good luck. Any other new business, Shannon?
No.
All right, we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Shannon,
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
you're welcome.
This evening, I would like to report that I haven't had time to get with every director for a report this meeting. However, I know you can be confident that each department is running efficiently due to the very good work of our directors. Next, I would like to update you on Mr. Shaw Friedman's comments last Park Board meeting. As your superintendent of the Parks Department, along with your maintenance director, Mr. Volz, it is our responsibility to monitor the parks and trails. It is not only our objective to inspect these facilities for safety and preservation, but to initiate contacts with persons ignoring the rules. My report this evening is to update the Park Board and the public that the monitoring of our parks and trails based on Mr. Volz's inspections and reports from the public that approaching overnight campers is our duty to remind them of our posted rules. Our posted signage clearly indicates no overnight camping, These rules will be enforced by the Michigan City Police. Any overnight camping on city property other than park property shall be handled by Michigan City Code Enforcement. A kindly note to the public: enjoy the parks in Michigan City. Appreciate your privilege to use them, but be wary of the rules that preserve them for everyone. And I would also like to report that the golf manager position received in total 19 responses and resumes. That's 15 more than we had before we modified it. We've had some good responses. We still have to interview 3 or 4 more prospective candidates. We are interviewing 7 out of the 19. So by next week, we will have a golf course manager. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Any questions? or
Uh,
comments?
yeah, just a question as to parking. When we have the boat races, are they exempt? Don't they have people stay down at by the boat, sleep in their campers? Or do they not?
They do sleep in their campers on boat race
But
nights.
that, we're going to waiver that.
Yes, I would think we would allow them to
Okay.
do that. Good point, though.
Any other questions or comments? Any vandalism?
No vandalism.
Okay, good. Move on to the liaison reports. The plan commission did have a meeting, but there was nothing pertaining to the park. Port Authority, Mr. Freeze.
They did have a meeting. It took me longer to drive there and home than the meeting lasted. They were very efficient with a 12-minute meeting.
All right. And the Zoological Society, Mr. Glidden.
They haven't had a meeting while I've been a board member. They have a meeting on Tuesday, the 14th at 5:30 at the library.
Thank you. And attorney's report tonight.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Any director's reports?
No, sir.
All right, takes us right to Department Finances and back to Mr. Glidden.
I have the claims docket for the Michigan City Park Department for February 1st, 2023. Municipal, $153,554.06. Golf petty cash 0. Zoo Casino EFT 0. Total claims, $153,554.06. Mr. President, I move these claims be approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
I have the payroll number 2 for 2023 from January 8th through January 21st, 23. Pay date January 27th, 2023. Total payroll $58,532.36. Mr. President, I move we approve payroll number 2.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next is reports and gifts and donations.
Gifts and donations, the Michigan City Zoological Society, a zoo donation, aviary exhibit renovations, $37,500. Michigan City Zoological Society, zoo donation, Arctic Fox exhibit renovation, $10,000. I would move that we accept the donations.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Minor transfers from the concession fund, decrease the amount contractual $10,000 and increase the account NPP contractual $10,000. I would move that we approve the minor transfer.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Minor transfers, decrease account contractual $10,000. This is the concessions fund, and increase the account NPP contractual $10,000.
I
think we just
I just read that. I think I'm done now.
Yep, there's 2 reports there.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public tonight? See none. Any board comments?
None tonight.
All right. Our next meeting is Wednesday, February 15th, 5 PM right here. Have a motion to adjourn.
So move.